Hi guys, welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast, and it is the final episode of Before the Storm. We are covering the DLC bonus episode Farewell, which is the prequel of all the Life is Strange Arcadia Bay games. And firstly, I just want to say or ask, did anyone play this game before back in the day? Because I know I did. I loved these games. I got Deluxe Edition. Jack, am I right in thinking that the first time you saw it is when you watched my stream last year?
It was, yeah. It was. I don't know why. Was it some sort of like special deluxe thing, like you got with the mixtape mode where you got this? Because I've not played this before.
Yeah, no, it very much was so, yeah. So a lot of people actually didn't get this game. But yeah, how about yourself, Anya?
Yeah, I had this game when it came out, so this episode and everything was exactly what it is, like a farewell to these characters, like at least at the time, Hannah Tell and Ashley Birch. And I think it was a good way to close everything out during that time.
No, I totally agree. And it's funny because when I did the stream last year, there was two people who kind of almost had conflicting opinions. One person was like, I don't get this episode, there's no choices, there's no branching, it's just filler. But then someone else was like, and you know, I kind of am in the pro camp, and I kind of sat in this one as well, where it's like, yeah, it's not about choices, it's literally just about revisiting the world a little bit. Like you mentioned, Anya, saying goodbye to the characters. And it was just really nice as well. And I think especially, like, we played, like, Before the Storm, where we're Chloe for 3 episodes. And I don't know, I just felt it was really nice just to see Max again. And, you know, a nice era where it's kind of Max and Chloe as kids before she left. And it was just really interesting seeing, like, how different they were as kids as opposed to teenagers or young adults. But yeah, we start the episode, and yeah, the first thing you kind of notice as they blow up the Barbie dolls is that, like, the kid voice acting, and I don't know about you, but I thought it was really realistic. This Ashley Birch who voices Chloe is just insane, because she kind of, like, I know, like, you get, like, that Rhiannon DeVries or whatever that does the Before the Storm version, but she somehow manages to capture, like, a young Chloe, like, perfectly. Like, Hannah Tell and Max is sort of, like, more of the same. But I just wanted to ask, was anyone else really impressed by the voice acting in this episode? I'll start with you, Jack.
Certainly noticed like slight differences, but it was enough to make you believe that you were dealing with like the same character as you was in Before the Storm. So yeah, I mean, I've got to admit though, I feel like for me the thing that muddling up my words here, the thing that stood out to me as well is just like how different the girls looked, especially Chloe. And then in those opening scenes as well, just how different her life was. The fact that she was like really doing well in school and everything felt put together with like her mum and her dad, and she wanted to hang out with normal people, and you think, damn, like I think that's almost like slightly where the tragedy comes in a little bit with Chloe. You sort of see what her life could have been like had all the stuff not gone down.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And like, I don't think I had any like real moments like listening to their voice acting where I was just like, oh, these are totally different people, or like, I don't know who is playing this. Like, it was convincing that like this is the same voice, same character, and they're just little babies right now. And then I had like a small nitpick with like Before the Storm with their appearances, and like I was like, oh, I wish Chloe's hair was a little bit lighter. But then like when we watch this episode, it's like it looks exactly like Rachel's hair, so I get why they would want to give her like that short, a little bit darker.
Yeah, no, you are right. And it is true with the voice acting, because like I say, Before the Storm did have like the voice acting strike, and there were a few hiccups. I am looking at Samuel, the maintenance guy. But like the main crux of this whole, because we don't really have like a massive mission or story, the whole sort of crux is that you have Max who's trying to break it to Chloe that she's moving soon. And it is actually a really heartbreaking story, because she's clearly like really struggling to find the words to tell Chloe. And it's a consistent theme where she constantly like tries, but something gets in the way, whether Chloe gets distracted or they do this mission first. And weirdly, I could actually really relate to it, because I used to live in like a different country back in the day, and I don't know if a lot of people have had to do this, but I actually really related in the sense that I remember I had to kind of speak to my best friend and tell them, oh yeah, I'm going to be moving countries, by the way. And it did fucking suck. So like, I actually really resonate with Max this whole episode. But we go around the room for a little bit. The whole sort of thing we've got to do here is help Chloe find things to pack, and like tidy away and throw out into the junk. And it's pretty apparent early doors that whether it's like the disgusting gobstopper, the magic box, or the shark, that Chloe doesn't want to throw away any items at all. Probably like an early hint at like the abandonment issues that she's going to have. She's clearly a very addictive person. But I just wanted to ask you guys, because for me, I was just a massive fan of this whole room. Like Jack mentioned, you see like Chloe's clearly like quite switched on. She's like really studious. She loves science. And this is pre-punk Chloe. So did you guys just enjoy going around this like room that looks like, obviously it's the same room, but is like a completely different one from the one that we see in like previous games? I'll start with you, Anya.
Yeah, for sure. And it's cute to see like certain things that like still stay on her wall, like that American flag that she has, which is like little posters, and just how she was too. Like she had like that whole future ahead of her. Like if things went right for her and she was like smart, she was gonna get into Blackwell. She still does, but she obviously has a lot going on afterwards that make it harder for her to keep up with everything. But it's just another good like characterization that they do for Chloe, and like really giving you her full story.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because like the first thing I noticed was that the bed was in like a completely different location, wasn't it, compared to like Before the Storm and Life is Strange 1. But some of the things that you see around the room, like one particular thing that I liked was like this choose your own adventure thing that like Max and Chloe penned. Like it was just a nice little thing to watch, because obviously I hadn't played the game. But you even find little things like comic strips that Chloe's made, and you can't imagine the Chloe in Life is Strange 1 or Before the Storm doing this. And it just keeps coming back to that thing where like there are some things that obviously that the thing that happened with Max going away and obviously her dad dying seriously made Chloe change. Whether that was that she grew up very fast or just changed her personality full stop. But that girl seriously changed because some of the things feel so alien to what we get to know previously.
No, I agree. So yeah, justice for Chloe for people that still dislike her. But yeah, I completely agree. And I love that you mentioned the Choose Your Own Adventure book, because I used to have these books when I was a kid called like Give Yourself Goosebumps, and it was literally that, where you would like turn to page 1 for this, turn to page 56 for that, and like you had to like you say like choose your own adventure, and it was just really like fun to see, and it really had like the kind of Chloe Max kind of childhood stamp on it. And I got a good laugh out of the fact that when you finish it, you turn around and then the teacher's like, oh yeah, very good, but please do the actual project this time. I don't know, I just love that. One thing I wanted that I thought we were going to get when we played this is that I really wanted to meet the cat Bongo, which we heard about like in like previous games. But later on we'll learn what day it actually is in this timeline, and of course it wouldn't make sense if it was. But I remember when I first played it, I was almost expecting to go downstairs and meet this cat, so I was really excited about that. But at least, we got that in Lost Records, so, like, I got that reward later on down the road. So yeah, like we tried to break it to her, but it's a nothing choice, because whether we tried to or not, Chloe gets distracted, finds this cassette tape. And then the next mission we kind of get is we go on this like pirate treasure hunt, this escapade. You listen to this tape where William, apologizes like for breaking into like, their time capsule that they've made. And again, I don't know about you guys, but like it's just a real tearjerker when you sort of see how good of a dad William is. And I don't know, I just really like the goofiness from like the recordings. So yeah, just when you kind of know what's coming towards the end, I think it just makes it that much worse that we get this really lovely figure in William. I don't know if you guys felt the same.
Yeah, definitely. And then like I did a playthrough where I was doing everything chronologically. So I had like this episode first, and then just getting like the little early days bits of William or Bloody Bill, and then just going into everything that happens afterwards. It hits so much harder. Like he's just such a good guy. Like I want him to be my dad too. And then like just engaging like with their little activities. Like some parents will just be like, their kids will do their own thing. I don't gotta bother with it. But he was just like joining in on it, and then I don't know, just having fun with their time capsule too. It's just so sweet.
Yeah, it's a slow goodbye, isn't it? Which makes it worse because, like, as the player, you know what's coming towards the end. I mean, obviously with the giveaway, like farewell, it's sort of like farewell in more ways than one. So then, when you actually see Chloe happy, it's therefore that weirdly makes it worse. So like, you can understand the logic for telling her sooner because you feel like you owe it to her as your best friend, but also telling her later because you want her to have as much happiness as possible before you go. But yeah, like, there's some really good moments in here. I did like the attic scene. I really like this quote that Max said about, like, how when you're a child you're scared of what hurts you, but as you get older you start to worry about hurting those that you care about the most. And she's like just looking out the window at like Chloe playing as a pirate in the back garden. Really, really good stuff. And yeah, honestly, just to echo what you guys were saying about William as well, like, you can see how good a dad he is. And again, it just sort of emphasises like the sadness that's ultimately going to come out of it.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Like, and when we sort of finish that kind of coming out the room, our task is to go into the attic to find the amulet, and you can learn some really cool stuff here. You learn that Joyce is trying to quit smoking. So apparently she did so in this timeline, but also apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently in the original Life is Strange game, when you go to the alternate timeline where Chloe's in the wheelchair, apparently Joyce is smoking then as well. So it's just really cool to see that kind of parallel. And then you can snoop through the emails as well, and you can learn that Chloe's having trouble at Blackwell, or that in her current school, and she had a fight with another girl. And then I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, and we can talk about the voicemail. If you play it in front of Chloe, it later transpires that this girl, Marissa, I believe her name is, said that she was a scholarship kid because obviously she's being helped by the Prescott Foundation. So she turned up the Bunsen burner and burnt this girl's hair. And I was kind of like, oh, there it is. That this is the early shades of the Chloe Price we know, of the punk rebel coming out, not playing by the rules. And I don't know about you, but I quite like this little touch that maybe kind of the aggression, and there were early signs on the wall that we're getting the Chloe that shaping into the one that we know.
I do, yeah. And it's sort of, it's like what I said with the other 3 episodes of Before the Storm. The writing is actually really strong, and considering you've got maybe an hour and a half here with 2 characters, and you're staying in the same house. Sure, you move space, but you're not moving a hell of a lot. It goes to show what they actually achieved in that, of sort of setting in those early things with Chloe, but also the drama of them separating as well. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I like the the little early signs of that Chloe as well, because this one, she's got a Pegasus poster on her wall, and you don't really see a lot of who she's gonna be, but then you can see it was always kind of there, and then she just had more reason to spiral. And I'm sure when Max was gone too, there might have been a bit of Rachel enabling, since they found a lot of freedom in each other, and she didn't have anything else to really cling on to. Both of them were just kind of latching onto each other there. So it's interesting to see what influences Chloe later on too, and that we did have something in the start where she just is a little aggressive, and she doesn't like being humiliated or taking shit from anyone.
No, you're completely right. So yeah, the early Chloe Price shades. We go into the attic, and I really like the kind of ambient music we get. They did a good job of trying to make it slightly creepy, where it's just slightly darker. You have cobwebs everywhere, and poor little Max is trying to crawl her way in there to find this amulet. Jack, I don't know about you, but did this not remind you of a certain scene from Detroit Become Human, going through an attic? Because I myself was waiting for a deviant to jump out at me when I replayed it.
It did, yeah. It really did. I mean, also as well, you could almost think about when you go up into the attic about The Walking Dead as well. Just seeing a zombie-like kid sat up there as well. So yeah, no, but it did make me think of Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, one of the nicer attic scenes we've had in these video games. Anya, I can't remember if you played Detroit Become Human, but I don't know if you feel the same.
I did not. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I was a little unnerved, just because I feel attics in general have this creepy reputation. I never had one, so I don't know about like going up in the one when it's all dark and cobwebs or anything, but even like just playing this, I'm just like, I don't really want to be up here right now. Like, I don't know. But I think it helped that there like really was no huge threat. You're literally just trying to find like a little treasure hunt item, and there's still sun outside. If it was like horror game dark, I don't know if I could handle it.
Nah, I do agree, but in a weird way, I do think it is nice because like you're not with Chloe the whole time. This is like a little bit of separation, and then I think it means that much more when you go outside and you go back to like the ship, which is also the swings, to kind of meet Chloe, because you have some lovely dialogue outside where you can have a photo and you can like hug her, and then we get like the little puzzle section, and we've seen this kind of similar puzzle in Captain Spirit, but Jack, I just want to ask you, did you enjoy kind of like going around trying to find the tape, lining up the kind of like amulet with like the garden?
Yeah, and you literally took the words straight out of my mouth, mate. Yeah, it's exactly like Captain Spirit, isn't it? Which again, it's sort of like I said in the previous, like the analysis is almost like you could forgive this for being a Don't Nod game, really, couldn't you? Because there are so many similar things going on here. But yeah, it was good because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like with Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, I've never really spent any time in the garden. It was sort of like you go out there, you maybe explore, walk around a bit, see there's not much, and then you just ultimately go back inside. Whereas in this farewell episode, you get a good amount of time out there, don't you? So yeah, no, it was a nice little puzzle.
Yeah, I think it was fun and it was cute, and it was a good way to like pad some time too, with throwing in like one of those little mini games that like the original games would have, while also showing like just childhood creativity, because there's only like so much you can do like at this point in time, but it's still just a good like Max and Chloe moment. It's a little fun thing to do. Although I think like when we were trying to like move Chloe around to put her like where the treasure was, I struggled a little bit because I'm really bad at directions. So I was like, wait, hold on, let me orient myself here. But I don't know, it was a good time.
Yeah, I did really enjoy like the dialogue where, because I anticipated it. I was like, okay, so it's gonna be her left, and then I was like, okay, no, right. It's like, wait, I'm right. And I was like, no, you're wrong. And it's just like a really clever, fun bit of dialogue that kind of like really made you appreciate that kind of younger Chloe self. So yeah, no, really good scene. I really like this bit. But then eventually we get to the burial site, we get the shovel, and we dig up like the ground. What do we find? Not Rachel Amber, but a time capsule. And not the time capsule we left there. Instead, we have one left by Bloody Bill, which goes back to our original point. Like, what a father William is. Like, if I ever became a dad one day, I'd love to do this kind of stuff. How he kind of like made it better, made it stronger from like the wind and rain, as he put. And then he kind of added in another tape where he says to the girls how proud he is of them. And I'm like, oh God, don't do this to me, man. It makes the ending that much tougher, especially when I knew what was coming. But yeah, it's really cool. You get to like read the letters out to each other. You get to like look at the squid toys. So just like a really cool scene, just seeing their younger selves when they were like 8 years old, writing to like their future selves. So that was really cool to see. It was also this point in the stream where my dog farted and completely derailed it. So again, I am very sorry for the viewers at home that had to see me go through that, like coughing and like choking out because I got like mustard gassed. But yeah, just guys, opinions. Did you enjoy this whole scene, and does it make the ending that much harder to witness? I'll start with you, Anya.
100%. And then I like to like the little letter details and everything. Like I can't remember if they showed it that first time too, but it's like one of like their notes or like bullet points about what they think the other is doing, or like what each other will be doing. It's just like, oh, we'll have a boyfriend by 16. I'm sure like price fielders are like, funny that you think you wouldn't end up with each other. It's just like cute little details of like guessing what they would be like.
Yeah, like with the time capsule thing, yeah, with that the bit where it says, oh, which one of these is the right answer, and it turns out it's all of them. They're talking about salted pretzels. They share the same class together. Like, you can see that the relationship is really strong. I think what's good as well, obviously, where we play as Max, we sit inside her head, so we know that she's agonising over telling about Chloe. And to sort of like jump the gun a little bit here, when I was first watching it, I therefore found it very surprising when Chloe turned round and said, yeah, I know that you was going away because I overheard my mum and dad talking to your mum and dad about it. And I was like, wow, like, it says a lot about Chloe as well, because like she must have been having some serious, not reservations, probably the wrong word, but like she's probably a little bit worried about the fact, with the drama going on at school, her best friend going away. She still chose to have like a really good time with her friend rather than bring it up and like create like quite a sort of somber mood. So yeah, I think overall good scene, mate.
Nah, very good scene. I agree. And then obviously, we sit down on the couch with Chloe after some photos and drawing, and it gets to the point where you can either tell her or not tell her. What did you guys do? I'll start with you, Anya.
I did tell her. Like, I feel like I did try to like tell her the first time too, but then she was just like, "No, hold that thought." So it's just like, well, I can't say I didn't try. But I think it's like a fun little insight to like the early anxious Max, who's really bad at communicating with Chloe. Like, what do you mean you're waiting until the literal like last minute to tell her this? But I do think it's cute that like they both were just trying to preserve like having a good day and like not ruining it. And then Chloe was just like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I just want to have a good final day with you if this is going to be like the last time we see each other for a while. And I don't know. I love their friendship so much. And I love seeing like the early days. And I'm sure it must have been like difficult on them for sure. And then for Chloe to still like try and keep it together, even if she already knew.
Yeah, of course I would have done. I would have told her. How could you not? But I'm intrigued to see what, if you don't tell her, I imagine, like, because this is a fairly linear episode anyway, right? But if that has any sort of bearing whatsoever, like, do either of you know what happens if you don't say anything?
I think the ending tape is different.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So at the end, when, the sad ending happens, Chloe goes up into the bedroom and she'll get like one or the other recording of like what Max says. So in my one, I did tell her. So like Max says something like, "I'm really sorry, I'm leaving. Like, I just thought maybe it would help if you heard my voice one more time." But if you don't tell her in the voicemail, she says, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm leaving today. I'm going to Seattle. I'm really sorry." And it's like a really heartbreaking listen. So yeah, but you know what? Like, I also told her, but a lot of people think it's actually more canon if you don't tell her. Reason being, in the flashback, in the original game, where you have to prevent William from going outside the front door, and you have to like hide his keys or whatever, you chucking them out the garden, stuff like that. Chloe says something along the lines of like, "Oh, Max is never leaving me." So people think it's actually more canon if Max doesn't tell her, and then it actually makes a few people quite bitter at Max because it kind of says, "Oh yeah, false promises," and like, it really kind of fuels that whole, is Max actually a bad person for abandoning Chloe? Obviously, maybe a bit harsh because like she is like an 8-year-old kid at this point or whatever it is, so, or 13-year-old kid at this point, so it's quite tough to say. But yeah, really brutal. And then, as in our versions, Chloe's obviously yeah, I know, and she's comforting you, but then you get the guitar strings come in from Ben Howard Black Flies. Firstly, big shout out because Ben Howard comes from a town nearby myself, so yeah, represent. But yeah, like Black Flies, such a beautiful song choice. We had it in the end of Life is Strange 1, where if you pick that certain Arcadia Bay ending, you get the full Spanish Sahara. They pick their songs to perfection, but it sucks that every fucking Life is Strange game has to end up at the cemetery to break my heart. But I don't know, it was almost a twist in a way. I don't know if it was a twist, but I had no idea this was like the exact same day as the flashback, the exact same day that Joyce was going to walk through the door with a cop. And again, it's something that you mentioned quite a lot, Jack, is like these games do this good thing of like they don't actually have the dialogue, they let the music do the talking. And there was just something super powerful about like Joyce coming in watery-eyed, and then Chloe kind of listening and nodding and then just collapsing to her knees while Max is just looking in shell shock. And I don't know if you just really appreciated the writing of that whole scene.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was really, really good. It's something that they do so well. We've seen it in Before the Storm, even with like, we get the exact same sort of ending, don't we, when Chloe tells Rachel, like slightly mirrored here, with the Joyce telling Chloe of the situation with her dad. Yeah, really, really beautifully done. what can I say? It's really impressive.
Yeah, it just it sucks that Life is Strange can't let us have a happy ending. It seems like every Arcadia Bay ending, they just like create a happy moment and they fucking slap us in the face and bring us back down to earth. Anya, what did you make of this final scene? Did you cry?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's horrible. Like, and they did a good job of hiding the fact that it was the same day. Like when you play back, you can see like, oh, they were playing dress up. They changed their clothes. Like you can see the picture that was taken that same day that you see in like chapter 3 or 4 of the original game. And then I said like before the storm, episode 3, that very ending is a throat punch. This is just another throat punch. It's just like, oh yeah, that happens. And it sucks to see in like the aftermath. And like if Chloe knows Max is leaving, like that's just like 2 punches in a row to her. And then I don't know. And yeah, the music definitely helps a lot too. Like I'm just sobbing, crying, and then it's just a crazy way to end the episode.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me understand why a lot of Life is Strange fans are so passionate, and especially like the Reddit users we get, which are very fiery, because, you know, and myself included, we all got dumped with this childhood trauma that Life is Strange gave us, so thank you very much, Don't Nod and Deck 9 for doing that. But yeah, no, like really beautiful episode, gut punch ending, really well written, and it was just really nice to revisit these characters, and that ending shot of like Max and Chloe at the funeral, and like the only time we actually sort of slightly see Max's parents as well, which is a cool Easter egg. But the shot of her just where it fades to her kind of like looking at Chloe at the funeral, and then she's in the car and then leaving, and then Chloe's got to go home again and listen to the voicemail, and then everything just fades to black and the credits come, and I'm like, is that really how they're leaving us? It's just such a sad, dark but beautiful universe. But yeah, does anyone have any comments about sort of like the funeral or the voicemail scene?
It's devious work of the Caulfields to move or like leave actively in the middle of the funeral. Like they couldn't have like waited a day or 2 at least.
I was thinking that is really dark. Like just, you know, Max's best friend's dad's just died. We'll give her an extra day in town so they could hang out. It's like, no. And it's not even like they have to catch a flight, you know, they're moving a state over. Could you not really just fucking wait an evening or an hour? Yeah, like you say, till the funeral finished. So yeah, Anya, very good point. Jack, yourself?
Yeah, I've got to echo that. That seems pretty damn harsh from the Caulfields. Then looking at what Max does in the future seems pretty damn harsh as well, considering she says she's going to stay in touch. So maybe it's in the genes.
Yeah, you know what? There's all these videos on is Chloe, or Joyce as well. Are the Price is a bad person? I think at the end of this analysis, I've learned, you know what? It's the Caulfields that are the Caulfields are fucking dicks, man. Like that's what I've concluded. That's what like this whole analysis has taught me, actually. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, in conclusion, farewell. Like, not a massive like game by like choice based, like, you know, by any means, but in terms of just the story, revisiting Arcadia Bay, really pleasant just to kind of get this little bite-sized piece. You know, you compare it, it's almost like just having like a little dessert after your meal. So yeah, I'm really glad they made this because they didn't have to. But I mean, that is kind of the ending for like Life is Strange Before the Storm, to be honest. Does anyone have any final comments?
I have my qualms with how like Deck 9 does some Life is Strange writing, but I think like this episode in particular is probably like one of, if not the best, like writing that they've done for the Life is Strange universe, like including True Colors and Double Exposure. It's just like, it's so beautiful. It's such a good way to close out our characters, even if it's like a fucking devastating final shot of Chloe just like curled up on the floor crying. And then even sadder if you consider that like if you sacrifice Chloe in the original game, that's the last time that she hears Max's voice. Fun fact.
I never even thought of that. That makes it even worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't remember if I said this in the last one, so I'll say it again. For me personally, the whole package, like Before the Storm, still remains second place in my ranking at the moment. But it's narrowed the gap to Life is Strange 1 hell of a lot. I really, really like actually what Deck 9 did with this game. I like the fact with the DLC that it added context to the fact, it was like the prequel to the prequel. I thought that was quite cool. And I didn't necessarily mind the fact that it didn't have any choices, because I feel like that's what you get with the base game. I feel like with this Farewell DLC, it's there as like a little sprinkling, like you said, mate. It's sort of like a dessert, a little extra for the fans. And honestly, it's been good fun going over this game. I'm glad that I played it again for the second time, because it's definitely gone up in my books.
Yeah, and I think that's telling of how good Before the Storm is, and Farewell as well, because like it doesn't have a lot of the tools that Life is Strange 1 has, but like we remember this game very fondly. So I think you have to commend the fact that it comes close to Life is Strange 1. So yeah, no, massively so. And Anya, my final question to you is, obviously you've played True Colors and me and Jack haven't yet. But if you had to rank the 5 Life is Strange games, number 1, Before the Storm, number 2, True Colors and Double Exposure, what is your ranking from least favourite to most favourite?
Wait, hold on. Like specifically just like the Deck 9 ones, or like with the originals?
All of them, just all of the Life is Strange, yeah.
All of them. Okay. I interchange between 1 and 2. I was like a early Life is Strange 2 hater until I actually played it myself, and I was like, wait, this is actually incredible. So I flip-flop between 1 and 2, and then I'd probably put Before the Storm third. And that counts Farewell too. And then like True Colors probably fourth, and then Double Exposure last. I feel like Double Exposure could have been like cool if it just did not include Max and it was just its own story.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, not bad to be honest. And yeah, like we have to play True Colors to see where we're going to rank that. But I'm super surprised you put True Colors below Life is Strange 2. So like I'm actually really intrigued to get back into Life is Strange 2 to see if like my thoughts on it do change, because I thought it was like an okay game, but just nowhere near the Arcadia Bay world. But yeah, like I mean that's our sort of Life is Strange Before the Storm analysis coming to a close now. I'm really sad now because that's it for Arcadia Bay. We're not going to touch it again. We will be doing like other videos around it. Like we're going to do a lot of character visits and stuff. But thank you very much, Anya, for coming on and doing this analysis. It took us a year, but we managed to do it. I hope you had fun discussing these games.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, even if it took a minute. But we got there. We did it.
We did it. But yeah, Jack, any final closing thoughts, mate?
No, mate. Happy to wrap it up.
Brilliant. Well, guys, thank you very much for sticking around for the Life is Strange Before the Storm analysis. Check out the rest of our channel and our Life is Strange playlist if you want other videos. And guys, we will see you in the next one. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Bye.
Cowabunga.